Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Esson Ebenezer, and my student number is 200491457. 200491457. So I'm here this afternoon to present my assignment one on Hadoop Single Node on virtual machine. I will try to share my screen so that we can have a look at what I've done so far. At this point that we have, I've been able to successfully develop my Hadoop environment. I've set it up and it's up and running. So I want to quickly go into the next step where I need to start my start all my SH. I'll be using the instruction that was given to us on the blackboard. So I'll copy it and paste as we start. As this one is loading up, I'll quickly go back to copy the start DFS so that while this load up, I can also paste that in. So I'm on step 3 now. Sorry, it's taking, just little time. Taking little time. All right, here we are. So I'm going to paste the other one. It's also loading up. So while that is loading up, I want to, try and browse for our name node from our web browser by using our local name. But in this time, I won't be using my IP address. I will be using my local name. So the local name that was given here, I will be pasting it in my browser. Pasting it in my browser. Boot up. There you go. It's coming up. There you go. So, as you can see, we have our name node being opened up in the web browser. So now that we have been able to execute step 3 and 4, now we want to demonstrate that we have successfully installed Hadoop by doing the following. So we want to quickly go to step 6 by recording using the UI in our browser. So we have, I'll also be using, what the outline that we have in our Blackboard to do that. But before we get to point 6, I want to quickly show us few things so that we can know that our Hadoop single node was successfully loaded. So this is our data node. We have our data node up there. So we want to also check. We want to really start our yarn. We want to start for our yarn also. So what we're going to do is that for starting yarn, we want to go back to our terminal. Let's go back to the terminal while we try to start our yarn. So we copy our code again and we put it in the terminal, run. So it's going to start so to auto start the history server, we are going to go back to our outline to copy map read daemon so that it can help us to run the history server. So that is running. We will go back to our browser so that we can start off our yarn from there, our Hadoop rather. So we go this way. There you go. You paste it. Then we go. Yeah. So as we can see, this is our, Hadoop interface. And at the same time, we can also, open up our resource manager website by also copying. Let's also copy to be able to get to that too. Yeah. This also open up to take us to that place. Here we are. So that means they are all working well. We will see the usefulness of this, as we proceed. So we want to really know, if our Java that we install are really up and running. Maybe they are running well. You can just type in, in your terminal, just type in JPS, enter. So it's going to give you, all the terminal, all the, the things that have been loaded. We have our data node loaded, working well. Name node is working well. We also have, can you see this one? Double storage server. We have GPS, resource manager working well. Secondary name node is working well, and also node manager also working well. So that sounds good. So we want to quickly go to step 7. Step 7. And step 7, ask us to, okay, step 6 rather, because using the UI in your web browser. So we still go back to what we are used to, which is our outline from the Blackboard, which we've been using the tutorial. So we, as we have there, said a web UI for Hadoop can be accessed through 3 ways. So, but in our own case, I just want to go by the first one using our local port. So let's try and access it through our local port by copying that into our local port. I don't want to go the way of using, but meanwhile we can use, maybe we should, okay, sorry, maybe we can use our IP address. Okay, let's use the IP address and see, it's gonna work. Let's just go. Let's go there and see if it's gonna work, which I'm pretty sure. To confirm my IP address, I know my IP address actually, but just to confirm it, we can run this just to confirm it on our terminal. Let's go to our terminal. Let's open up our terminal. Let's put in this code and let's run it. So that is my IP address, 10.0.0.196. That's my IP address. So I can, like I say, I can punch it in and get it. So now we want to start our group again. Meanwhile, it's actually open, but let's be double sure by follow suit everything that is outlined, in our outline. Let's follow it squarely so that we don't want to have anything, messing up. So by so doing, we can then, choose anyone that we want to go into this. We have all the services that were listed here. We are in number 7. So let's go to our web address. Like I said, we can use our IP by typing it in HTTP e colon /10.0.0 dot 196 colon 9870. Let's see where it's taking us to. So you can see that he also brought us to this place, which is so good. It is so good. For instance, if you want to, let me use that is name node, but let's try to open up secondary name node, for instance. Secondary name node using IP address. Secondary name node, our port rather, for that would be 9870. It's still 98. Oh no, it will be 9865, 9868 rather. So let's use our IP address at the same time. HTTP colon /10.0.0.196 colon 9868. Let's see what that one is going to give to us. All of this just for you to know that everything is working excellently well. Okay, so now let's move forward. We want to use our let's start. So for us to get our next start, what we need to do is that we need to download. We need to run the following. Install our net tools by copying this code that has been stated. Let's copy this code into our terminal, and we copy the code into our terminal. Let's see, it's going to run. So it's asking for our password. Asking for password Ubuntu. So Ubuntu asking for Ubuntu. Loading up. Yeah, here you go. So it's here. No, it's still okay. It's still. Sorry. So now here you go. It's working now. Done. So after pushing in that, we'll use the following command. That is running. But the next step is just that we're going to follow the command, just to see the following ports that are currently working on Hadoop. So we are going to copy in this also. So these are the following ports running. So I think we are done with that. So now we want to test, test of HDFS. We want to quickly go to, to test for our HDFS. Now to generate a report for your cluster, we are going to copy HDFS DFS admin report. So it's going to give us a report. Let's punch in that. Here you go. Right. So that's going to generate a report for us. And from there, we are going to, so this is our report. We are going to create the directory in, the HDFS. Let's create our, so we created our directory. So we want to copy a file from our local machine to HDFS, that in case we want to copy from one place to another. So we use this code and run it. So also to create, a directory to receive. Now it's for you to, one is for you to copy, another one is for you to receive where you're going to save it. So we use this code to create that. Okay, great. So now we want to also create a test. While that is running, we want to also look at how to create a test file in our document. So to do that, we're going to copy, touch, like document, code, like that. So now we want to, the following is going to, following command we use put to copy, from our local directory into what we have created. So we are going to use this command to establish that. If you are still with me. So as that is running, so we want to also now, we want to see if our HDFS is working. So we want to quickly go into, how to list the command, list all 5 in our HDFS using the following command. Now, if you run this command, it's going to list all the, all the file that we have copied. In our own case, this is what, once we find this, once we find RW, RR, one HD user supergroup, that means we have successfully, copy our file. Now, the next step is to record a test of my, map reduce. And for this, I can either use PI or one word count, but I love the word count, so I will be using the word count. So to start with my test for map reduce, the first thing we're going to do is that we are going to run the following command to give us list of the available examples that we have. So for map reduce, let's go with this. Then we have this. So these are the available examples that we have. This is telling us that we must start the yarn service before we run the example. Now we want to, before we go into word counts, we want to start the Hadoop. We want to start the Hadoop HDFS and resource manager. We want to be really sure that they are up and running. So let's use this command to do that. Let's use this command to do that. So after that, I want to quickly go into we want to run our word count in map reduce. As an example, as I said, I love the word count. So I would prefer that we use that. So it's still loading. Let's wait for it. So while we are doing that, we want to create our directory that will hold our inputs, because when we want to work on word count, the application requires 2 parameters from us. Number one, that is that it requires an input directory. Then also it also needs an output directory. So to be able to create an input directory, we will use this command. We will copy this command, put it in our terminal. It's coming up. Okay, it's done. So now we want to change the permission on the directory, because our permission before was SD user. We want to change the permission to in this directory to name back to user. So how to do that is that we're going to use this command to do that. Use this command, punch it in. I hope you are still with me. Now we want to copy file to our user, input directory now. And to do that, we are going to be using, for this example, we are going to be copy all the file from Hadoop home directory. So we'll be using this to establish that. Using this to establish that. So, and one thing that it's going to do is that it's going to set our word count input. So from there, we want to see the list of all the commands. So let's try and see the list. Let's copy list the file that we're, in our command. Let's use this. It's going to give us the list of all what, we have in our input. It's going to list 3 items for us if it's running properly. List 3 items for, here we go. It gave us those 3 items. So let us now run the word count map reduce job. Let's try to run that. And we are almost at the end of this exercise. Just bear with me. We'll be done. So that's going to be pretty fairly long, but not too long. So to display the resulting output file using cat command, we want to see the, and I told you earlier that to work with a map reading, for word counts, you need 2 parameters. You need the input directory and you also need output directory. So to now display our results, we need output file, and we are going to be using that by using cat command. Okay. Bear with me, it's taking longer time. Come up. It's a few more minutes. Come on. Oh. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. We are there. Okay, so let's see our output. Let's see our outputs. After this, one more step to go. Let's see how our output will look like. Here you go. So this is the output from our example. Now, to be really sure that what we have done is good, we want to see if it's going to show finished in our job history. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to our web browser again. You can close one of these to open up this. Now, let's punch in. Let's punch in this Ubuntu. There you go. Ubuntu, and our port will be 8088. Awesome. As you can see from here, let's see the state. You see that it's showing finished and succeeded. And that is our final status. So with that, we have come to the end of this assignment. The next thing to do now is to stop our Hadoop cluster. And to stop that, we are going to use the following code to stop our Hadoop. Now, we stop, create stop. Then, because we also, I remember we opened DFS, So we are going to stop that too. We stop our yarn. Then after that, we now confirm maybe what we said we have stopped is actually stopped by running, our JPS again to see how many of those programs that we still have, running. So now we are, stopping all, SH. So after this, we are going to also stop our DFS.sh. Then we will also stop our yarn. So now this is stopped. So let's stop our DFS. Let's stop DFS. Stop our DFS. Now let's try to stop our yarn. Still stopping. Okay, let's stop our yarn. Okay. Now we want to confirm if what we stop actually what if it's actually stopped, what we have will only be one our JavaScript, that is JPS. Now JPS, enter. See, so we just have 17,705 JPS remaining. So that comes to the end. I want to exit. Thank you very much.